Welcome back to Advent of Code 2023. It's been a year. Um, Hello, Amaro. Welcome in. Okay. Well, good luck with the problem. Usually day one is very quick, so this could be even like a 10-minute, 5-minute stream. We'll see. I'll try to pad it out. So, for those that don't know, Advent of Code is this website here, made by Eric Wastel. It's a series of programming challenges. You can use any language because you only have to provide the final answer, not the code itself. One problem is released each day, but it's all archived on the site, so you can attempt them later on, like a week later if you want to, a year later, 5 years later. So you can see all the past years are archived here. And they get increasingly difficult as you go through the days, so it starts off easy. Some of the problems can be pretty tricky and involve quite clever mathematical concepts. Some of them are more like data-driven, based on data processing and how to speed things up. Lots of tricks that programmers ought to know if they work in the software engineering field or AI field or even game development, actually. Game development especially, because Eric likes to have lots of problems about pathfinding, breadth first search, A-star search, stuff like that. Just grab my coffee. So we're going to be starting with day 1, day 2 releases in like 20 hours. So, there's also like a whole story with usually it involves Christmas elves, and there's lots of throwbacks to past story elements from previous years. So if you actually go through all the years, solve all the problems, it's quite fun. You start learning all the all the story aspects. But alright, let me make sure I've got my... Okay. Alright, shall we begin then? Let's do this. Day 1. It's probably gonna... It could be a 5-minute problem, we'll see. Day 1. Trebuchet? Question mark? Exclamation mark? Just turn down the music a bit. Oh, wow. It was on max. Okay, so... Something is wrong with global snow production, and you've been selected to take a look. The elves have even given you a map. On it, they've used stars to mark the top 50 locations that are likely to be having problems. You've been doing this long enough to know that to restore snow operations, you need to check all 50 stars by December 25th. Oh yes, we know that all too well. Collect stars by solving puzzles. 2 puzzles will be made available on each day in the Advent calendar. The second puzzle is unlocked when you complete the first. Each puzzle grants 1 star. Good luck. Yeah, so it's like a part 1 and part 2. It's quite a clever system. In some cases, part 2 is just a very easy change to part 1. In some cases, it's a very hard change. For example, part 1 you might solve the problem for, I don't know, a grid of size 100, and then part 2, it might be a grid of size 1 billion, and then suddenly your algorithm doesn't actually work, and you have to come up with a new strategy. So yeah, sometimes part 2 is easier, sometimes part 2 is harder. Most cases it's... No. I don't know, it's actually I wouldn't even say in most cases it's harder. Sometimes it's just an easy change. Alright, so you try to ask why they can't just use a weather machine. Oh, this is a throwback to 2015, which was the first advent of code. Not powerful enough. And where they're even sending you the sky and why your map looks mostly blank. You sure ask a lot of questions. And hang on, did you just say the sky? Of course, where do you think snow comes from? When you realize that the elves are already loading you into a trebuchet. Please hold still, we need to strap you in. Wiki link to a trebuchet, in case you didn't know what a trebuchet is. Anyone who's played Age of Empires 2 knows what trebuchet is. Sometimes trebuchets would be banned in P2P because they're just so annoying. They can shoot from such a far range. Yeah. As they're making the final adjustments, they've discovered that their calibration document, your puzzle input, has been amended by a very young elf who is apparently just excited to show off her art skills. Consequently, the elves are having trouble reading the values on the document. So, the story is they're trying to fling us into the sky with a trebuchet to fix the snow. Okay. The newly improved calibration document consists of lines of text. Each line originally contained a specific calibration value that the elves need to recover. Now, on each line, the calibration value can be found by combining the first digit and the last digit to form a single two-digit number. For example, calibration values of these four lines are 12, 38, 15, and 77. Oh, I see. So you need to find all the digits, take the first and the last one, concatenate them to make an integer, and then you add up all those integers for each line. So we got 1, 2, 12, 3, 8, 38, 1, 5, 15. So you got to ignore the ones in the middle as well. So you got to take the first and last digits that you can find in that string. And here, it's just 7, which is the first and last, incidentally. So, okay. So that one could trip people up. All right then. Let's begin. Well, this will take me like 2 minutes. I already know what I want to do. Let's create a new file, input.txt. Paste that in there. So, all right. Okay, so there will always be a digit because otherwise it's kind of a malformed question. So yeah. Okay, so we want to use. So okay, so I'm going to be using Python for all these challenges because Python honestly is, in my opinion, the best language for these problems, especially when you can use the Python exec method, which executes code like simple arithmetic expressions without having to parse them. String handling is just top tier in Python. It's just so much easier to use Python than anything else. I've not found any problem that I think another language will be suited. Maybe you could make an argument for some like functional languages like Haskell in cases of recursive programming, but yeah, I think I can still manage in Python. All right, so all right, so first we want to get the input. So we want with, use the open method on input.text. Oh, This IntelliSense is obscuring the screen. It's F. I always use F as my file handler. So we're gonna open the oops, that's not correct. Okay, we want it read only. And as F goes there. So that's just opening the file. For line in f.readlines. Okay, so let's just make a total of 0. So we're going to add to that total. So let's extract the digits. So you can do that by saying digits equals, let's say, car for car in line.strip. So strip gets rid of the new line characters because they mess things up. So this is literally just going to be each character but put into a list. So actually I want to use list comprehensions here. I want to say if dot is digit. See, this is a nice useful Python method. It would just check if it's a digit. Should we try printing that? All right, that looks promising. So the integer, the number, what's the exact word they used? Calibration value, calib equals, so we want, it's going to be digits, the first digit concatenated with the last digit. They may be one and the same. And then cast it to an int. Let's check that makes sense. It's always going to be a two-digit value. So yep, that's good. Total plus equal calib. Print total. Five 53974. Sounds about right. Let's test it. So, unlike some sites where you have to write code in the website's IDE, or you have to submit your code, for example, in this case, you just submit the final answer. So that allows you to use any programming language, and it doesn't increase overhead for Eric, because then he doesn't have to build code checkers for all the different languages he wants to support. So free for all, any language. You can solve it with a pen and paper if you want as well. I've done that a couple of times. I once solved a problem purely with Microsoft Paint. Some people solve problems in Factorial or Minecraft. I'm not even joking. Some of the problems are actually solvable using game engines. Correct. Okay, so that was part 1. Part 2. Your calculation isn't quite right. How dare you? It looks like some of the digits are actually spelled out with letters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 also count as valid digits. Okay. Equipped with this new information, you now need to find the real first and last digit on each line. For example, okay. Fine. I can see people tripping up on this because there's some... What you don't want to do is some... Well... See, look, this one's tricky here. 8, 2, 3. So there's an 8, there's a 2, and there's a 3, even if they overlap. Okay, so some people might kind of take the 8, then discard the letters, and then take the W-O, but then they'd lose the 2. So overlapping counts. That's... In this case, it wouldn't matter. But if 2 was the last digit... Okay, if you got rid of the 3 here, if it was 8, 2, then you would need the 8 and the 2, not just the 8. So, the cleanest way to do this, I guess, is to okay, what I wanted to do originally was just replace each 8 with the number 8, replace 2 with number 2, but now I've just proved that that won't work because then I won't capture the 2. Actually, I'm not completely clear on whether we're supposed to include that 2 or not. Some of the digits are actually spelled out with letters. So is that... I'm actually not sure. Let's have a look at all these examples. 2, 9, 8, 3, 1, 3. Actually, maybe I was wrong. Maybe you're not counting overlaps. So that is just 8 and 3. There's no 2. It doesn't actually say. I'd argue it's slightly ambiguous, but... Yeah, I think you don't count overlaps, so it's just 2 and 4. There's no 1 here. 9, 7, 2, 1. 7, 16. Yeah, you wouldn't count that as 6. That's 16. Oh no. Oh no, you do count that as 6. There's no 16. Okay. In that case, it's easier. You just replace each instance of a string with its digit in the string. So let's do this programmatically. So let's say total part 1, because I want a total part 2 as well. Alright, so that's part 1. Now I want, so this is just part 1 logic. Let's do part 2 logic separately. So we've still got that line. Let's say s equals line.strip. Alright, so what we want to do is modify s. Every time we see a 1, the word 1 spelled out, word 2 spelled out, we just completely reconstruct the string, but with that instance replaced. Wait. Actually, you know what? That won't work either. Because if we were to... Alright, I think I know the right way to do this now. So that won't work either, because if I were to look for 2, I would replace this with 2, but then there's no longer an 8 or 3. I've destroyed I've destroyed the 8, but what we need is the 8. If I were to replace 2 with 2, okay, we actually have to go left to right. That's what we're supposed to do, not any arbitrary replacements or anything. We have to look at the left. If that spells out a word, a number, replace it with a digit. Otherwise, discard the letters and move it on to the next letters. Okay, so while. So what I want is while S. That means while there's still letters in this string. If all right, we gotta help. We need a helper here. We need digit words. Let's call it. It's gonna be 1 maps to 1. 2 maps to 2. 3 maps to 3. This is not a completely trivial problem for part 2. I can see people getting a bit stuck here because the 2 different suggestions I made earlier don't actually work correctly for the input. You've got to process left to right. You can't just arbitrarily look for these words and replace them with numbers, because then you get the order wrong. 5 maps to 5. 6 maps to 6. Let's go to the next line. 7 maps to 7. 8 maps to 8. 9 maps to 9. Are we counting 0? No. I'm guessing there's just no zeros. Okay. Okay, so while S, alright. If, okay, so digits equals list. So we're going to put each digit we find into this list. All right, while S. If the first character in this string is digit, then simply put it in digits. Zero. And now S equals S. We discard the first character and go to the next iteration of the while loop. All right. So basically I'm just taking off the first digit, the first character, because it's a digit, putting it in our list of digits, and then you know, this is actually overkill, because we only care about the first digit and the last digit in the string, so we don't actually have to process every digit. But whatever, we've started this, let's just do it. Like, the quicker way would just be to search from the left for the first digit, search from the right for the first digit, and then we're done. Okay, but whatever. So if it's a digit, we put it in the string. For word in digit words, if S dot, so here we want to continue with the next iteration of loop. If S dot starts with word, then we want to put that numeric value, but it's still a character, put that character, the corresponding digit character, into our digits. And then we want to replace S with length of word. So we want to discard the first K characters, where K is the length of the word, because that's just getting rid of the word. And then break out of this for loop. So if we go through this for loop and we don't find any word, then we go into this else. We just say, okay, there was no digit at the start of the string. There was no word at the start of the string. Let's just discard the first character, because the first character is not attached to anything, and then just repeat this. So we do S equals S from 1 onwards, and then go to the next. All right. So when we've done all that, we should have all the digits. So we just do this thing again. Calib equals int digit 0 plus digits -1 total part 2. Gotta start using Control D to duplicate lines. Right. So we've got part 1, part 2. They're similar, which is to be expected because a lot of the digits will still be the digits, but all right, let's try it. Huh? It's wrong. It's too high. Damn it. Did I... Alright, let's test it on this example here. It should return 281, but it probably won't. Alright, well, we failed. Oh. Huh. No digits found. What's going on here? S equals line.strip. While S, if S 0 is digits. What's going on here? Try printing digits. Two, 1, 9. 2, 1, 9. Okay, we got it right for the first line. Now what happened? 8. So we should get 8 and 3. Make sure we're actually getting the word. Print digits here. Two 219. Okay, 219 is fine. Why are we not for word in digit words? If S dot starts with word. I'm not sure what's going on here. Hang on, we're printing digits. That's digits before it crashes. What? Digits 0. List index out of range. Digit 0 should be... Oh, it's part 1 that's failing, not part 2. What? Oh, because this... Damn it, they've given us an input which doesn't work on part 1. That's sneaky. But it... So the input they gave us has an actual digit in every line, but now they've given us a new input which doesn't have that. Okay, well, let's just cross out everything for part 1. That's a bit cheeky because this is not valid for the input. The input won't actually have a word like this, but they're giving us one for the example. Okay, whatever. 281. It's correct. So, oh, well, that's not good. That means we don't know what the problem is. Okay, so that's the input. Five, 2, 8, 4, 4. Oh. You know what? I think this problem's actually kind of ambiguously worded. I'm not entirely happy with the description. I think you're not meant to go from left to right like what I've done. I think we're just supposed to look from the left, find the first instance of a digit, whether it's a number or a word, and then go from the end of the list and go backwards and find the first instance of a digit. So that will give you a different result from what we're doing here. And this input example they've given us doesn't actually... the example input they've given us doesn't actually separate those two ways of doing it. I think the problem was ambiguous, to be honest. The exact... Okay, look, the exact wording they used was... Some of the digits are actually spelled out with letters. That's all they've said. But that doesn't tell us whether this is 8, 2, 3, or 8, just 8 and 3, or 2 and 3. It doesn't tell us whether this should be 8 and 3 or 2 and 3. I would have guessed 8 and 3. And it doesn't tell us... Okay, fine. Alright, I know how to code this then. So, let's go back to the problem. So, okay, wow, this was actually harder than I thought it would be for day one. Okay, so part 1 is leave. Okay, okay, so part 2. All right, so don't do what we're doing here. Just start fresh. All right, so we don't need digits. Basically, we need to go I equals 0 for I in range length of S. We just say if Si dot is digit, let's create a variable called first digit equals Si, elif S otherwise we need to check whether Si is the beginning of one of these words. So we need to say for word in digit words, if, let's say, S from I onwards dot starts with word, then first digit equals corresponding word character, break, all right, and just say first digit equals none. If we found the first digit, now break out of this loop. All right, that's this. All right, let's make sure this actually. Okay, let's get rid of that. That. So it's gonna be. Let's just comment these out. Make sure we're getting a first digit. This just extracts the first digit. Let's test it. Yeah, that's the total for that. Okay, so we're getting a first digit. Hopefully it's correct. Now we need to do the logic for getting the second digit. The last digit, I mean. So this is first digit. I can't think of a easier way of doing this. Maybe... Oh, I think I know an easier way of doing this. There's a string dot search, string dot find. But find, what's the documentation on find? Because I think basically we won't find, but find from a range of. Oh, it doesn't matter. We've written this from first principles. Okay. Okay, first digit. Now just copy all that, but do it for the last digit. So we got last digit is none. So we want for I in range length. So we want length starting from the back of the string, going backwards. So if it's a digit, then we extract the last digit and break for each word. If S, so we're going backwards. So we still use starts with, but we're using the substring at the end of the string. Last digit equals digits word. Word break. If last digit. Alright. Okay. There, we're getting digits. Alright, let's just see if this works now. Okay. This was not actually that easy. Which is good. I like a challenge, but this really, you have to think. This is testing whether you know how to index strings properly. Clearly I don't. Alright, we've got a new number here, 52840. So it's four less than what the answer we tried before. So there was just probably one digit we got wrong. But I mean, Eric knew what he was doing. He put that in to make sure we got the logic correct. So alright, hopefully. Okay. Good problem, but I still think it was ambiguous because I think there are two valid interpretations of that, although I do admit that the one I settled on does seem to be the most correct one, but yeah, whatever. Yeah, so now, is there a cleaner way of doing that search? I think. See, what I would like is so Python has a string.find method, but find you can only look for one parameter, one substring. A different thing you could do is you could just do find for just find the string 1, find the string 2, find the string 3, and so on. Compute all the indices of the first instance of each of them and just take the minimum, but that's not much cleaner than what I did, so I don't really know of a clean way of doing this. I think what we did is really, really the logic you would have to do. Okay. That was a good problem. That really kept me on my toes. But as I said before, one of the reasons I choose Python is because it's brilliant at handling strings, and I think I would hope that this problem highlighted that, because if I tried to do this in C++ or something, that it would just be more of a mess. Alright, let's have a look at the stats. Wow, Advent of Code is popular this year. 21,221 people have solved both problems. So compare that with, okay, so let's see. In 2015, participation. Oh, that's a lot. But no, that's including all the people who have been doing it recently. So it doesn't. So that doesn't tell us how many people did it on the day. I would guess a lot less, a lot fewer than. I think it's getting more popular every year. So yeah, that's quite a lot. How fast did people solve it? Oh, I always forget how to. What is this? Oh, this is a points leaderboard. I don't care about that. I want the this one. Okay, Boboquap solved it in 2 minutes 24. See, the bit which takes the most time is just writing a quick dictionary of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and mapping those to the respective integers, because you wouldn't normally have that pre-prepared. Like, you could have lots of algorithms pre-prepared, but I don't think so. I think the bit which took the longest for these people was probably just quickly writing 1, 2, 3, 4 and having to map them to the actual respective digits, unless they happen to have something like that. So this guy got the first star in 12 seconds. What was the first star again? You had to. That's pretty fast. Alright, I mean, I'm not competing, and I don't expect to. 7 minutes? I don't think I could really solve it in 7 minutes. Well, if I got it right first time, maybe. If I just wasn't streaming and just completely focused, but I'm not trying to compete. Okay, well, that's it. That's day one. Amaro here has solved part 1. The other 2 people on my leaderboard, Samuel and Pararonia, have also completed both part 1 and part 2. Just have to beat Amaro. Well, I guess technically I've beaten Amaro, although we're not competing on time. This is very flexible. Just as long as I try to beat both stars at some point during the 24 hours. Maro is a supporter. I should look into that. I don't know. I don't know how to donate. I'll look into that. I want to be a supporter too. Alright, well, that's it then. I guess tomorrow I might try and do the stream the moment the day opens. That will be 12 p.m. We'll see. I was supposed to do that today, but I got distracted. Something came up. Alright, so... let me have a look, see if anyone's actually... streaming Advent of Code. Kiki Impact. Real Void Boy. Amara's streaming it? Oh, I'm not logged in here. Oh yeah, they are. I didn't know they were streaming it. I don't have Twitch logged in on this browser. Alright then. Well, let's raid Amara. 3 underscores. Alright. Alright, well, thanks for stopping by, and I guess I'll see you tomorrow for more Advent of Code. Day 2. We'll see if I can keep it up all the way through December. I've managed in previous years, but some tough problem may come along. Alright, stop the music. Alright, bye, see you next time.